So do you have a 2012 Jeep Grand Cherokee that doesn't want to start or fire up? It'll crank and will not fire up. There's an issue that needs to be addressed, and it's got a recall. So what I'm going to show you here and what I've seen on YouTube is people putting videos on doing a bypass, but in reality the bypass is not a permanent fix, and I don't recommend leaving it that way. But if you're caught in a situation and you need to get your Jeep fired up, and chances are this is the problem, I'm going to show you what to do a temporary fix. Don't leave it this way, but this is just to get you going and drive you for a few days until you can get your Jeep scheduled for the recall at your dealer. So basically you're going to open up your fuse box, and you have two fuses in here. That fuse right there next to this relay, this fuse, that's the fuel pump fuse. And then this fuse over here is one that I'm going to borrow some power from. It's a switched fuse for accessory. So you got to be careful, because if you have it in accessory and not actually on, there could be power here and you would have power going to your fuel pump. I don't think during this time you're gonna need to have your car radio on with the doors open and your fuel pump running. So this is, like I said, this is a temporary fix until you can get the dealer to install an external relay. So if you were to go to your fuse box cover, it tells you the location of your fuel pump fuse, and you can read it yourself. You can find it. I'm not going to get into that. Like I said, on the Jeep Grand Cherokee, mine is a 5.7 Hemi, but I'm pretty sure all the fuse boxes are the same. So this is a fuel pump one. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bypass some power from one side to the other. So I already have these fuses loose. I'm going to take them out, and I'm going to show you what I did. I went to the parts store and I bought a couple of things. I bought some spade connectors. I bought some 20 amp fuses, and I bought a fuse holder sufficient enough for 20 amp use. So just don't go buy a cheap fuse holder. Make sure that the fuse holder and all the components that you're using are rated for 20 amps. As you can see, I clamped on the spades at the end, but what I did is I cut the spade in half so it would be able to fit in the fuse box, because this fuse box is a mini fuse. The small, I think these ones are ATMs if I'm not mistaken. I did buy a bigger one for the fuse holder, but the stock vehicle takes a mini fuse, and so I cut these so they'll be able to fit inside the fuse box. And all I'm going to do is going to come over here, and I tested the fuse box to see which side is power and which side is feeding the component. And so this side over here is, you can check this with a test light or a multimeter, and this side right here is the one that has the power. So I'm going to bypass power from right here to the side that needs the power, supplying the fuel pump. So I'm going to put it in like that, and right there the vehicle should fire up. I'm gonna walk inside the vehicle right now and walk it, towards the driver's seat. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna fire it up right now. Let's see if it starts. Okay, I had to get the key. I'm gonna walk in. Let's see if we can fire it up. I'm in. Push button start. Fired right up. So that's a temporary fix for your Jeep Grand Cherokee that's suffering from the fuel relay problem. There is a recall, and I strongly suggest that you get it taken care of at the dealer. It'll be free, and the liability will be on them. I don't suggest that you do this bypass as a permanent fix. It's just not worth it. Thanks for listening.